You can advertise your business on Night Dreams Talk Radio, and you will be heard worldwide. Why not contact us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com. The views, opinions, and representations expressed on the Night Dreams Talk Radio Network and its website are those of the hosts, guests, and participants, and are not necessarily those of or endorsed by the network, its affiliated stations and broadcasts, the management, other hosts, or advertisers of the network. The shows found on the Night Dreams Talk Radio Network can, but do not necessarily, promote any particular lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are for entertainment purposes only, and are not intended to treat, diagnose, and or claim any cure of disease or condition, or give any medical or legal advice. Coming to you from some far point station, like a cosmic tumbleweed, both north and south of the Pleiades, here's your host, Gary Anderson.
Well, I hope everybody had a great weekend. I know I sure did. I accomplished a lot. I had a good friend of mine that owns a little small community radio station came over. We talked, it seemed like, for hours, but maybe realistically it was maybe an hour or so. Well, what can I say? I worked in my studio, rearranged a few things, and I hope everybody out there is having a great time. And for the people on Facebook, if I don't respond, I'm at the age where just running this equipment takes all my capabilities, so I guess you'll just have to listen to me talk. But I do appreciate you tuning in on Facebook. Tonight we got a great guest coming in at 7 o'clock. We got Tom Davis, who's a retired Seattle police officer. He also is a lead singer with a band. It's called Metatron Power and Light. Disclosure is one of the songs I really like that they have done. I use a lot of their music as bumper music on my show. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a good time, because I am. And James, are you there?
Yes, I am here, Gary. How are you doing this evening?
I am doing better than normal, and you know all the circumstances of my normal.
Oh, boy. That is a whole chapter in somebody's thick book, that's for sure.
I know. So, how about you? Have you ate a lot of cornflakes over the weekend?
No, I've been out. Maybe I'll go tomorrow, get some stock back up.
Oh,
I mean, down now.
What do you do when you run out of sugar frosted flakes? I mean, do you go through withdrawals or anything like that?
Sometimes I do. I got to tell you, because there's no equivalent. It's got to be the name brand. It's like way off, and then there's nothing. Yeah, I go in withdrawals. There you go.
No, well, how long have you been hooked on the sugar frosted flakes? And don't tell me since you were 5 years old.
No, I don't know, a couple of years on and off I've been fighting this habit, this addiction.
I guess as bad as my addiction with Coca-Cola, I got to break that stuff, because that stuff is nasty for you.
Yeah, I used to use it to clean my grease off the benches and stuff in the garage.
Yeah, I didn't know it would clean grease off. I used to use it on my motorcycles, taking the rust off of it. It worked better than a lot of stuff did.
Oh, yeah, it works better than degreaser.
Oh,
absolutely.
Yeah. And it doesn't even have to be new Coke. It could be a Coke that's gone flat you don't want to drink. So, you just put a little on your bumpers, and all of a sudden you got nice-looking bumpers again.
Yeah, as long as you wipe it off, because eventually it'll eat through that too.
Well, I just want to say hi to Steve, Wayne, and everybody else out there, Troy, that's on Facebook Live. I don't even have my glasses on, so my monitor is over about 6 feet away from me, and I can't even barely see any writing on it. I apologize. Hey, tonight, we got a great guest on. Tom is going to be Davis. Again, like I was saying, he's a retired police officer. What's unique with his band he's in, it's all pretty much what they sing is like conspiracies and paranormal stuff. Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah, and I got to tell you, his songs are really catchy, especially the first one he sent over for you to play.
Oh, yeah.
Disclosure, I think, was the name of it.
Oh, yeah, and then the shapeshifters and witches and all this stuff. And I'm waiting because they're doing a new theme song for my show, so it's really cool. Well, we're at 22 radio stations across the country, and hopefully one will come near you. If you, depending on where you live, not hearing us on any FM or radio stations, hey, certainly call them up and say, hey, you want to hear Night Dreams Talk Radio on your favorite station, and bug them. That's what you need to do.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? You keep growing all the time, and someday you'll be back up to 30-plus stations, I'm sure.
Oh, that's not... hey, you're thinking small. My agent's saying, hey, we're going for 101.
Well, there you go. Why not 102? Don't even stop. Just keep on going.
Well, anyway, some ghost hunters out of the UK were going through an old asylum. I wonder how many of my family members could fit in that. Well, anyway, they saw a loose hanging, and then they saw a ghost hanging from that.
Now, that would be a sight. I got to tell you. Yeah, that would stop you in your tracks. Now, see, that right there would define the true ghost hunters, paranormal investigators from the ones that just starting out, because usually the ones just starting out, they're going to be like, when you turn around, you're going to see the backside of them running out the door.
Well, I would, and I've been in the paranormal for a long time, but you know what? I don't do what you guys do. I don't go out ghosts. Why would I want to see that? I'm still waiting for when I die. I got a big decision. Do I go to the light or do I go to the dark? Because could the light be a trick from the devil, wanting me to go down to where? Or could be the black, which would be then going to heaven because you step into black and then all of a sudden all these bright lights and all these fancy colors just kind of swirl around you. I got to make that decision here. I'm getting old.
Well, I'm going to give you a piece of advice from me to you. When that happens, I am sure that I would probably say your father, maybe your mother, will be there to greet you, or one of your loved ones, and just follow them. You'll be good. Okay.
Well, that's not very good. Part of my family. So that could be the trick. That could be the devil sending one of them over to you. Say, hey, just follow me this way, Dad. It's no problem. Come with me. I don't want to see Hitler down there in hell with a pine cone up. You know what? I seen that movie.
Did you?
Yeah.
Maybe he just wants to give you some strudel.
Yeah, a little. How could they actually put a pineapple up? Hitler's. You know what? I don't think it would fit unless you had a lot of lube.
I don't know, but it sounds like it's out of my pay grade to try to figure that one out. So I'll leave that one to you. Oh, my God.
Well, hi, Paul, and hi, Lewis, out there on Facebook land. Yeah, well, anyway, also in the news, there was a half man and half owl in a cemetery. And it was scaring off the people going to, put flowers down to their loved ones on the graves. Again, this is in the UK. But it doesn't say which part was half man or which part was half owl. They need to describe these better in these news stories. You know that.
Yeah, that is an intriguing thought, isn't it? Now, it's funny you mentioned that owl man. There's been an owl man spotted in Pennsylvania just last month, I think. Now that I think about it, and UK too, all over a few places. Actually, it wasn't just one. It wasn't an isolated place in the UK either.
Oh yeah, and I hope people can see what my console looks like. Since the last time I was on Facebook Live, you can see I kind of changed it around a little bit. You can see some of it, in here. It's for some reason it's not as bright in here like it normally is. I got to figure that one out. Maybe I'm running too many computers and zapping all the current and electricity out of the compound.
Yeah, probably are. My goodness, you've got some wires going on in there. I'll tell you that. So you got a good story? Well, this is kind of concerning Area 51 again. The lady who owned the Little Alien Inn is suing. There's lawsuits going to be flying because of, there was commitments for all this parties and bands and all this stuff, and a lot of them, they reneged, and a lot of them they owe money, and they're not paying the money and all this. So now that's going to be going on throughout the news about people ripping people off and not paying their commitments and stuff like that because, as you know, it was a little short of 3 million people or 2 million or however many it was supposed to be. So it kind of ended up being a disaster for everybody. At least nobody got shot.
Well, you can figure, boy, I'm getting feedback from you.
Yeah, how about now?
Yeah, let's see. Keep talking. Well, maybe.
No, you know what happened? My headphones, for some reason, must have a bad connection. It's like disconnected, and I heard you like over out, not in my headphones, but it should be fixed now.
Okay. Well, again, in the weird news, a woman finds this really interesting object, and she brings it into her brand new house. She didn't know it was cursed. And then as soon as she brought it in the house, people, started getting really sick and everything bad started happening to them. Like they got their car totaled out, the roof started leaking, people got really sick and ended up in the hospital. Maybe somebody who ever lived in that house kind of maybe cursed an object and left it sitting there for somebody to find it.
Or what else happens? Some people, when they pass, they are attached to an object, and it doesn't have to be an old object, and they attach to it. Their spirit does. And so you could buy something at a yard sale or a garage sale or whatever, auction, flea market, wherever. And it doesn't have to be old. And that's why I always tell people, before you ever buy anything used, just kind of size it up and try to get a feel on it. If it doesn't feel right, leave it out. Don't buy it. It's not worth bringing home a guest, because some of those guests, they're not, they might not have been very good people in life, so they're probably going to be a little worse in death, and then you just brought them in your house. So just beware.
Yeah, you got to be careful. A big shout out to Tom Jones. Then we have Troy, and then we have David out there watching on Facebook. Yeah, you got to be careful, what you bring in and find. I would never buy a mirror from a thrift store, because you know what? That could be haunted.
Oh, my goodness. Mirrors are the worst, Gary. I've touched on this story. Mirrors. I could write a whole book, Gary, just on mirrors in my life and the paranormal. But 2 years ago, somebody called me up and said, hey, there's something going on at the house. A little kid's scared. He's only 6 years old. He don't know nothing about ghosts and all that stuff. So I went there, and it was here come to find out, there was this huge 3x4 foot mirror on the wall. And when I turned around and looked at it, I about fell over. It hit me like waves, and I was like, wow. And I said, what's up with the mirror? And here this mirror was in a hotel, Gary. Imagine a hotel room for about 50 years. And 30 years ago, it was tore down. So that mirror was seen like 80 years of stuff, but 50 of it in a hotel room. Could you imagine all the stuff that mirror had absorbed over a 50-year period in a hotel